get it. Welcome back to the Balanced Mama Project Radio, where pregnancy and motherhood feel less like survival and more like thriving. We are your clinical doctor led team of wellness coaches who are here to help you feel strong and confident and emotionally steady through pregnancy and beyond. So I am Dr. Valerie Rucker-Bussie, and I'm joined by my incredible co-founders, Dr. Saiah Yates and Dr. Lisa Desai. Ladies, say hi.
Hello,
Hi.
hello.
Excited to be here.
Yes. All right. So, hello, mamas. A quick question. What was the funniest or weirdest piece of pregnancy advice someone gave you?
Oh, I'm going to start. Not that anyone gave it to me directly, but it's what I hear a lot of my moms say, and it's not always appreciated. But typically it's like, well, sleep while you can, or sleep while the baby sleeps.
Oh,
And so
Lord.
it sounds like this is not always a feasible to do because there are 99 other things that need to get done. But please tell me, how do y'all feel about this comment?
Do not even get me started. That is probably the worst piece of advice that I have ever heard. You know why? Because in that time where that baby is sleeping, should I go shower? Should I go brush my teeth? Um,
Mm,
should I cook food? Should I get some sleep? Should I do my laundry? I can think of 50 million other things that I need to do that
Yeah.
don't involve sleeping. So
And,
people need to stop telling people sleep when the baby sleeps.
that's real.
It's
and
not true.
I think I agree because, well, and to that point, it's like the way that I'm going to get sleep is if my mind isn't focused on all the other things that do need to get done. So I feel like part of what needs to happen is like maybe someone else takes care of some of those things that I can't get done so that maybe I can sleep. But like if anything else, I don't know about y'all, but like if anything else is on my mind, I'm not going
Can't
Hmm.
to
do
sleep.
it.
I'm not going to sleep.
Well, you know what the other thing is? So, like, everyone's like, oh, you must be sleeping like a baby. Okay, babies don't sleep like
So you are
If you
indeed
had
sleeping
a
like a
baby,
baby.
you
right?
know that they are not
If
sleeping.
you mean
Your
not
baby,
sleeping, then yes.
like, both of mine hate naps. Like, they just don't nap. They
Oh,
sleep
I know
really
they
nice,
got
which is
energy.
really nice. But, like, Rahel would take like 10-minute naps, 20-minute naps. Niam's out here taking like maybe 2 naps a day at like 4 months old. I'm like,
No.
just go to sleep.
And I have to say, the amount of time it sounds like people spend getting tiny ones into a nap. I'm like, by the time you done got them into a nap, if they only nap for 10 minutes and then they come out of the nap, now you got to get, I'm ready for the nap and ready for the rest of the day. It
Okay,
sounds
yeah.
unrestful. It
No,
does
yes,
sound unrestful.
that is a true thing because even
Yeah.
my 2-year old, right? Like sometimes I'm like, okay, so generally speaking, she'll take a one nap a day and it'll be like anywhere between an hour and a half and on a very good day, it'll be 3 hours. So do you
Mm.
know how stressful that is for me to be like, I either have an hour and a half or 3 hours. I don't know. And so if I do choose to take a nap during that time, it's like I must I must try to go to sleep immediately after she goes down and set my timer so that I wake up like well before she wakes up because the worst is being
Mm.
awakened from your nap by your child. Lord have mercy. Then I'm like, I shouldn't have even napped because now I'm behind. Now I'm behind.
Tell me about the stress of trying to get to sleep without telling me about the stress.
Oh,
Dr. Lisa did look a little bit jealous of that hour and a half to 3 hour nap, though. Not gonna lie, I
I
saw
did.
your face.
So the
You looked a little
2-year-old
salty.
now does that like hour and a half, but the max I get is 2 hours. Max.
Understood.
But it's like the worst nap too. He naps from like 1 to 3. I'm like,
Yeah,
or 1:30 to 3:30. I'm like, go to sleep at
yeah,
12, wake up at 2. It'll be great, and maybe even 3 if you're really feeling great. Like,
yeah.
oh, why are you
No,
doing me dirty by waking up at 3:30?
it's the middle. Yeah, then your day is like, okay, day's done.
Yeah.
That's
But the
Ready to
good
midnight.
thing
go.
is he still goes to sleep like fairly easily, so I can't really complain at nighttime and usually sleeps through the night. So I mean,
Yep,
bless bless the universe for that one.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Yeah, that's a big thing. I mean, and the thing is like people are going to give so much advice and it's all well-meaning for sure. But that sleep while you can thing, that's wild. That's wild. But I love that today we're going to dive a little bit deeper and talk about what we do when we feel like we don't have a village, when we feel like we are kind of alone during pregnancy in particular. But this can kind of apply throughout the continuum as we just were expressing. Um, so let's dive into our topic a little bit more today.
Oh,
Yes.
go
Oh,
ahead, Dr. Lisa. I'm sorry. I know you have something to say, but Valerie, it made me think of when you made a comment. You were like, yeah, if someone else could take these things off my plate. And I was like, yes, I think this topic fits perfectly for when
Yeah.
someone cannot take things off your plate. I'm gonna hand it over to Dr. Lisa because I know she's gonna
Mhm.
be more thorough.
so it's funny we're talking about this today because one of my really good friends actually just messaged me saying how texted me today because I was just checking in on her. She's in her third trimester. I actually have a lot of friends in their third trimester right now, but the one that I was checking in on, she was just telling me how she's feeling lonely and she's starting to feel like a little depressed, which is not like her at all.
Mm,
And I think part of it is she feels a little isolated based on like
mhm,
where they live, and she has a good community of friends, but none of them really have kids.
mhm,
So it's hard, right? You're at this different point in your life, and her family is just scattered all over the place. So a lot of times, like we were talking about earlier, Valencia, like, you know, people always feel like they're alone, but there's always that community out there who kind of feels the same way.
yeah. Yeah.
So, there's so many women in mom groups that are posting things like, my friends don't get it, or my family just lives really far away. Overall, the truth is, isolation in pregnancy is pretty common.
Mhm.
And, it can directly affect both your mental and physical health and your outcomes. So, we all want you guys to know that if you're listening to this and you're feeling alone, just know that you are not alone. You
Mhm.
just need the supports and people around you. So it's great to, join those groups. It's great to like go out there, and it can be hard to do because it's not something that you're just like, wow, I'm 2 months postpartum, or I'm 9 months pregnant and I'm feeling really alone. It's
Mhm.
hard. It's hard to make those moves, and it's hard to make those um transitions to try to find your community too.
Yeah.
And I would say, you know, Val, I think you feel similarly, but both of our families live pretty far away, so we
Mhm.
rely on, our friends in the
Mhm.
area. We rely on each other.
Mhm.
Um, and
Yeah.
sometimes your friends aren't always going to be able to help you out in a pinch, so you're kind of stuck in that boat where,
Yeah.
so like for example, we had friends over during Labor Day weekend, and Robbie went out to, dinner with them, but
Mhm.
we didn't really have anybody to watch Niam and Rahil. So I had to chalk it up and just kind of be like, all right, well, I guess I'll stay home, especially because the other one doesn't, like, he's still little, and it's
Yeah.
just, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, and
I was kind of lonely.
it's especially hard in those times where they're so little.
hmm
Because sometimes I look back and I'm like, dang, why didn't I do more when Shiloh was younger? But then it's like, okay, you feel like you kind of can't sometimes. It can feel overwhelming to have to get so many things prepared. And is this kid gonna sleep when we're out? And how do we adjust? So yeah, it's some of those things where you do lose some of that social interaction. I know that happened a lot for me in the beginning too, and it was a lot of like give and take between Cliff and I, my husband and I, and then it's like, what does someone do when they really don't, when they maybe are not partnered, right? Or a situation
Mm-hmm.
that where they really are relying on either friends or family, or if they don't have any family in the area, like you and I, Lisa, like, what does someone do? How do we get back to feeling not alone and
hmm
isolated in the space? So yeah, it's pretty big.
I think it is so important to even give voice to that space because a lot of times you're like, oh, it should be a happy season. Oh, I should be excited. I'm pregnant. Or the baby's here. People be like, why are you sad? why is this an issue? And it's like, no, it is a common thing. Like, I never, y'all know I'm not a fan of being like, this is normal. But yeah, it is a common thing that comes up. And I've said this before, but I'll never forget. One of my friends, 6 months postpartum, was like, all of the support that I had being pregnant, I need it now because it is a very, or it can be a very lonely space. I'm like, nap time rules today. If you miss nap time, you probably missed the event, so you might as well stay home, which sounds
Mhm.
terrible. But I
Mhm.
know even when friend meet and greets came up, it's like, I had a 2 hour window. Can we make it? If we can't, or if something goes awry, you do end up at home. And
Yeah.
so, like you said, it's just like, it's an interesting space. I love the comment on the mommy groups and on the programming, whether online or whether
You
face
know,
to face.
well, that's the thing. Like sometimes it's even hard just to do a FaceTime, right? Like I've been trying to FaceTime one of my friends in Texas for like 3 months now, and we just keep missing each other. And she's one of my best friends, right? So I haven't talked to her in so long, but it's so hard when she has 3 kids that are young. I have two. It's just hard to find like that time. And even that makes you feel like a little lonely because you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't even been able to catch up with my own friends for so long.
Mhm. Mhm. Absolutely. I too have a friend in Texas. She's got 4 kids, and we
Oh,
she sent me a love you text the other day, but like we just haven't talked in probably I mean, I know it's been months. And so but and so it goes, right? Trying to find that space to really connect. It's really tough.
and you know, like, so all of this winds up having like that physical impact on you. It starts impacting different parts of your body, and especially things like your pelvic floor. So
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna let Saiah get into that.
Thanks, Dr. Lisa. So, yes, one of the things that I'll often see as a pelvic PT is that stress, loneliness, I was going to say, which can feed into that stress, definitely shows up in the body. If you've seen some of our other podcasts, if you've seen our master classes, you'll know how we'll say that tension can show up when we have our shoulders shrugged. Y'all, I just had a mom earlier say, I'm trying to go to sleep at night, and then my shoulders are just up here, and I'm like, what am I doing? And I told him, like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm trying to let him back down. I was like, yes, let him back down, let him back down. But like, even without necessarily noticing what your body is doing, it's just like, oh yes, can my shoulders tense up? Oh yes, can my pelvic floor tense up? And it's like, yeah, are you doing an intentional Kegel? I hate calling it Kegels. Are you doing a pelvic floor contraction? Yeah, but were you intentionally doing it? No. Are you squeezing your butt? I'm like, relax the booty, relax it, shake out the legs. It's easy to tense up, and kind of maintain that tense space. And we know, just like the Charlie horses tear people up at night, the same thing with that constant clenching, whether from stress, from loneliness, like that can manifest as pain. So yeah, it might be, I hate to say butt pain, we'll say back pain. Might be some back pain, might be some neck pain, can be even pelvic pain. There's really high correlations between different types of we'll say, I don't want to say mood disorders, but even like depression, anxiety, stress, loneliness, high correlations between that and pelvic pain. And a lot of that is the emotional and the physical is so intertwined. Like, yes, we have a body, we have a mind, and they work together in and out the day. So even that trouble sleeping, you're
Yep.
tight.
And to that point, then Dr. Say that makes me think of our patients we see who have that stress incontinence. And for those who don't know what that is, it is when you have some leakage, some urine leakage when you're laughing, coughing, sneezing, having
Mm-hmm.
any pressure in your abdomen. And a lot of times it has to do with really, really tight pelvic floor muscles. And so, when we think about these things, it's like everything everything is happening for a reason, right? Those tight pelvic floor muscles might be due to that emotional stress, or that emotional
Mm-hmm.
stress, discomfort that's making you clench and tighten those pelvic floor muscles. And then they stay tight for so long, they don't know how to hold against that abdominal pressure of the sneezing and coughing and laughing. And so all of these things are tying into each other, but all of these physical manifestations, this leakage, this pain, things like that, it can sometimes be really directly related to the stress and anxiety that people feel, that's very
It's
real.
It's so true. And I was like, just like the mind feeds the body also can feed the mind. So when we talk about stretching, when we talk about movement, we're going to say mindful movement, more relaxed movement, and even connection with other moms, like going out and doing these things like connecting with folks, stretching, taking intentional time to be like, hey, sometimes that's people's PT homework. Like, I need you to notice when you are tensing, like take moments and then actively trying to relax. And if it's the loneliness that's feeding it, then I need you to take moments to intentionally, whether it's one time a week, whether it's two times a week, whatever is feasible for you, like to make that connection, not to make it more stressful, but to start to work on releasing some of the emotional tensions and loneliness and some of the physical tensions and loneliness. Because, yes, or we should say, no, a village isn't um, or having a village doesn't just support the emotional, it also supports the physical. Like we need the physical, the mental, all of that to be well. And Dr. Val, I know you have a lot of input. Come on, nervous system specialist. Actually, both of you and Dr. Lisa.
I
But let me
know,
let me
we're
let
the
you let me
neuro
let you.
nerds.
Yes, come on, neuro
We
I was
peeps.
are
just gonna say, I mean, there's a lot, right, that goes into like the neurofeedback loop and all of that. I'm
Yes.
not gonna get into all that right now because I don't know.
girl. I
But
mean,
what I
there's so
am gonna talk
much.
about real quick is this goes back to our like how we talked about in our other podcasts and our Instagram lives and stuff where we talk about doing journaling,
Mhm,
and just that
mhm.
mindful meditation. But journaling is such a powerful tool,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So yeah,
absolutely.
there's that whole neurofeedback loop and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, sometimes all you need is a pen, a piece of paper, a laptop, whatever, your phone, and just write things down, right?
Yep.
Just like release those emotions. And this is similar to what I love journaling, and I will always be a very big proponent of journaling.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
but Val, I'll let you talk about all the
I
others.
mean, well, that's why we have the Mama Time journals on Amazon. Definitely
Mhm.
check it out, mamas. It's there's a guided version, but there's also just a free flowing. Whoa. We are recording this at 8:30 p.m. and so the tongues, the mouths are tired. Anyway,
Val, let's
it's
drop that
there's
link
a
into
guided
the
version. Oh yeah, we'll put it. We'll
yeah.
definitely add it to our description. So
Yep,
if you're
it'll be
interested
in the
in getting a
bio.
Mama Time, absolutely. If you're interested in getting a Mama Time journal on Amazon, please feel free. You can get a guided version, but you can also get just the lined version, just to write your thoughts down because that processing, that written processing, is so important. But as we dive into kind of the nervous system, it's one of my personal favorite things to talk about because if we can hijack our nervous system a little bit and take control over it, it does wonders with how our bodies feel, how our minds feel. And we just talked about that mind body connection. But honestly, even if we don't have people nearby to help do some of the dishes and do some of the chores or whatever we need physically done around the house to make us less stressed, you can retrain your nervous system to feel supported. So that's where tools like prenatal yoga and breath work and Reiki come in. I love to nerd out and put my yoga instructor hat on or my Reiki practitioner hat on. But honestly, just even 5 minutes of grounding can totally shift your body from that fight or flight, nervous, shoulders become earrings type of energy to this rest and restore, really to a point of thriving. And it's a super game changer. I remember when I was immediately postpartum, it was like something in me that just knew that I needed to sit outside, that I needed to put my feet on the ground and just breathe and feel supported in that way in particular. Like that was something that I could control. I love to, during prenatal yoga classes and just keep an eye out for some prenatal yoga classes from Balance Mama Project, you guys, if you're in DC. But honestly, just being able to lie in shavasana and feel supported by the earth and feel connected made me like release those endorphins, release those that oxytocin, really release those chemicals and hormones in my brain and my body to feel calm, relaxed, serene, peaceful, all the things that I needed in that moment. So, and there are so many studies, I could go on for days about this, but there's so many studies that show that meditation, honestly, is equivalent to 5 milligrams of oxytocin or of um, what is
Is it
that
serotonin?
pain. I'm thinking of a pain relieving drug, and I can't think of that right now.
Mm. Not
At
oxycodone.
any rate,
That would be
oxycodone.
wild. It
Yes,
is
Yeah, I was just
really
about to
oxycodone.
say
Yes,
oxy.
wild.
yes. I was like, it's an oxy. But at any rate, because our brains already in release these things, release morphine and release these pain relieving molecules, right? That you can find in pain relieving drugs. But meditation can actually put us in that state without us having to take these drugs. So all of that to say, you guys, there's so many ways that we can reset the nervous system, so many ways that we can relieve pain, relieve stress in the body, and really set ourselves up for success, even without a support system. So I really also want to know, especially because Dr. Lisa, you are our resident OT here. So please tell me what are some practical like OT tools that you have under your belt that you give to your clients?
Yeah, of course. So, you know, these topics actually come up pretty often from not just first time moms, but even like moms who are moms of two, three, and the more you have, the more difficult it gets because the less time you have, right? Um, so as an OT, I help moms design their days so that they don't feel overwhelmed. So simple things just like creating a check-in routine with your partner, setting up your home so that tasks are easier. Like I said earlier, like joining online communities, something similar to ours where we really focus on that community aspect and you never have to explain yourself, right? You're understood. We get it. We're moms. We know. Um, and Dr. Saiah is not a mom, but she gets it because she sees all the mamas
All
prenatal
the
and
days.
postpartum, and she's friends with us, and she hears all of our complaining and all of our excitement and all of the
Mm-hmm.
happy and sad things that happen as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, those are just some of the things that you can do. So my husband and I often will text throughout the day because that's our way of communicating because he his job is pretty demanding, so it's not like we could have like, a little checkboard at home being like, okay, Robbie, you're gonna handle this and I'm gonna handle this. So we'll just check in, even via text and be like, hey, how's your day going? Are you gonna be able to get this done today? And then, hey, if you can't, just shoot me a text back and let me know and I'll go do it. Right. So it doesn't always have to be written down on like a checklist on your refrigerator. For some people that works and hey, that's great, you do whatever fits your lifestyle. But that's a simple way to just check in. And that's a simple way to even just check in with friends, right? Like if you guys are planning something or if you need some help or if you're helping them out. Um those are those are some ways that you can do it. Other things to make your home easier to navigate, right? I know this sounds silly, but set stuff up in your kitchen exactly where you need it, right? So like have your cutting board right here, knowing, hey, I have to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and chop up peppers for my 2-year-old because he's obsessed with peppers and cucumbers. Or hey, I know tomorrow morning I'm gonna have to make a quesadilla for him to take to school. Just have all that prepped, right? Ready to go. Have your cutting board there, your knives here, whatever it is you need to do. It'll make your life so much easier. And it's funny because this is what you tell like your patients who've also just had like hip surgery, right? Like, hey, prepare the night before. But preparation is key. It's so important. It makes your life easier. It makes just your day go smoother. And I'm known to not prepare, so when I do prepare, I'm like, wow, why don't I do this more often?
I know. I'm the same way. I am very similar, girl. I'm a good preparer but when I feel like it.
Yeah, yeah.
When I feel like it. But
Or I can tell other people how to prepare really well.
That
Y'all
part.
do a good job though. You do, because y'all do it on the fly and it still comes together beautifully. I'm like, wow,
Mhm.
look at them go.
Oh my goodness. So, okay, so our audience probably wants to know a few things to take away from today. So,
All right,
let's
let me kick it
dive
off
in. Okay, cool.
because I love these kind of things. All right, so let's see, Val. Since we talked about some of your favorite nervous system routines and activities, what's
Mhm.
one hack that you'd give um, a pregnant mama who feels unsupported right now?
Ooh, a pregnant mama who feels unsupported right now. Okay, I kind of have to, honestly kind of have two things. Okay, because I really strongly believe, and this is kind of how the Balanced Mama Project is laid out in the first place, is you really have to address the nervous system to begin with, and then you can move on to really addressing some of the other things down the line. So, what I mean by that is, before I get into mindset shifting and setting yourself up for success similarly to what we just described, I would say the first tangible hack to addressing the nervous system would be a legs up the wall position. So that is something that we do in yoga, but it's also something we do in pelvic floor PT. And it has a lot of different benefits to the body, but one being that it immediately activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is that rest and digest, calming nervous system. One of the reasons being is because the blood is flowing in the opposite direction, so from the feet to the heart, and in a gravity assisted way. So the gravity is helping the blood flow back down into the heart. Um, so for those who really can't picture what this means, for someone who is pregnant, depending on your stage in your trimesters, but just to be safe, we'll say for all trimesters, you want to be inclined a little bit for this. So I would have someone maybe lie down on the floor in front of their couch, let's say, with their bottom against the base of the couch, and their back against some pillows that are on the floor behind them, and then their legs can be up on the couch. So just resting on the couch, and they can have some pillows under the legs on the couch if they want to. But the whole idea here is that you're in this restful, relaxed posture, and you're taking some really deep belly breaths. So Dr. Saya takes us through some really awesome belly breathing in a few of our podcasts, actually. So kind of just pick one. But we really believe in some really deep belly breathing as well to activate that parasympathetic, that rest and digest nervous system as well. So that would be one thing for someone who is feeling unsupported, because that'll help clear the mind and still the body and calm the body enough to be able to clearly think about what it is that this person needs in this moment. So, when I think about a pregnant mama who feels unsupported, um, a lot of times that directly correlates with something that is a need, right? What is this mama needing? Is this mama needing is this mama feeling unsupported because they are in pain, they're in chronic pain, and they really need support in lifting and carrying and moving and doing things around the house? Or is this mama feeling unsupported in the mental load of it all? Then those are different ways that we can different things that we can address, and we actually address all of those things in the Balanced Mama Project, right? But just thinking about clearing the mind first, using a nervous system hack, and then being able to think about what specifically are we feeling unsupported with, name it, and then we can kind of piece out how to address it. So I'm hoping that's helpful, but for sure, that nervous system hack, legs up the wall, 10 out of 10 would recommend. So yes, that would be my thing. Um, okay, I'm gonna popcorn. I'm gonna ask a question. Let me think. Dr. Dr. Saiah. Okay. What is the number one body tip for women who carry all their stress in their back and in their hips?
What I would say, and what I usually think of for any of my folks who are carrying tension, y'all know why I say relax the booty. But not just that. Like we say, shake the body out. And so it's really hard for a muscle to spasm or to remain tense if you're shaking the body. I actually learned that from a really skilled PT course. But also in my Tai Chi trainings, they'll be like, shake the body. If we, whether we're doing Tai Chi, whether we're doing Qigong, it'll be like, shake the body to settle the Qi. And that's like life energy or life force. And so, yes, even in Tai Chi class, I'm like, okay, we're going to take the moment to shake our body out. Y'all, I love just swinging my arms and turning from side to side. So yes, you can shake in whatever fashion you would like to shake. Sometimes I'm like, shake the legs. Y'all, if you can't see me, I might disappear into the background. But if I don't disappear, then you can do one of these to shake the body out. Oh, you can do one of these. Oh, you can't see me. But when you could,
For those who cannot see, she is
return
standing. Her
the
hips are,
torso.
her feet are about hip width apart, and she's just rotating from that trunk, rotating from that chest, just letting those arms be loosey goosey, loosey goosey.
Yes, we love to shake the body out. But I'm always like, shake the body out. Because A, it's fun. B, it really does help the body relax. When we say it resets, it gives you a nice reset.
Hmm.
Okay, so yeah, shake it out sometimes. I'll be like, relax the booty, shake the body out. But just keep the shake the body out as your main tip if we ever requote me. Okay. Since we're doing popcorn, the question that I want to ask Dr. Lisa, um, especially with us talking about loneliness, how do you typically help moms who feel like they don't have anyone to lean on?
That's a great question, Dr. Saya, and a multifaceted one. So, oh man, I would say again, similar to what Dr. Val was saying, a lot of that nervous system reset is a great way to help moms feel like it's okay. I don't have anybody to lean on. I need to start regulating my own feelings. And once we can start doing that, that's our time to reach out and, try to develop our own network group.
Hmm.
So reach out to people on Instagram, reach out to people on Facebook, meet up with your own community. A lot of a lot of places will have like their own WhatsApp group. So I really try to get community engagement in there and try to find some community resources for people, especially things like prenatal yoga is a great way to build that network. Postpartum, when there's baby and me classes, keep an eye out for the Balanced Mama Project on those as well, because hopefully in the near future, we'll start incorporating some of those. And that again brings in that sense of community, which is what the Balanced Mama Project really, really hopes to bring to try to take people out of that loneliness and try to incorporate them into a community. Um, I know other places will have different types of groups that, so for example, like in DC, depending on where you live in DC, that area will have their own like little community of moms that like hangs out, maybe goes to the park together, tries to plan library dates together. So those are all great ways to that I like to get resources out to people to try to build those communities. Because as a new mom, as somebody who's, pregnant, sometimes it's hard to put yourself out there. Sometimes it's hard to find the time to carve out that time for yourself. Um, so as an occupational therapist, we obviously like to look at the holistic picture, and it's not always just about, hey, look this up yourself, or hey, there's this. It's always trying to, get them engaged and try to find out the root reason as to why you might not be able to participate in that activity that you enjoy doing anymore. Um, for example, I know Dr. Saya does a lot of like sports in the community. So finding things like that are also helpful. Obviously, we don't want you going like ham, but things that are safe to do and engage in, those
Mhm,
are available in the community, and it's great. Those are great resources to look out for.
mhm.
Yes. I love it, Dr. Lisa, because I was like, even that routine getting you out of the house for this specific thing. I remember, so I do play kickball. I remember seeing this mama. I said, I know she is not out here. I said, 3 months after having this tiny person, she and her husband were both out there and they rotated turns watching this baby. I said, well, you
Oh,
know what? Whatever it took. Was she running vigorously? No. And neither should most of you if you are 3 months out. But just this general statement and a topic for another day.
you know what I actually
I
did,
love
and
it.
you guys know that I love to go for walks.
Mhm.
So, what I would do is there were a bunch of coffee shops where we used to live, and just that whole area had just so many things going on, and there was like a kids store and things. So I would just like go walk around and like scout out
Yes.
other people with strollers and see if they'd want to talk to me and hang out.
I
I
know
made
that's right. I
I
love
made
it.
a friend like that, so I guess I wasn't that creepy.
No, I think that's very normal. I think that's very healthy too to get out and just enjoy. I feel like being a mother put me in this weird club where it's like whenever I see another mom out in the streets, I'm like, "Oh, hey girl." Like I get it. So that's pretty normal, I think.
I
Yeah,
love the
I mean,
roll
I
up
think so too.
with the snack baggies,
It's
the
real.
Yeah.
strollers,
Oh
the
yeah.
extra diaper bag shop. Yes. The mamas, y'all have everything. Everything with you.
Everything all the time.
Um,
Uh,
But I really love it. But here's the truth. So you do not need a huge circle to feel supported. You just need the right tools and a couple of people who get it. And so don't underestimate the couple of people who get it. You're like, oh, they got 6 people. You got a solid two. Or you might be walking around meeting people. Dr. Lisa, I love that you weren't too shy for it. It does not surprise me, but I also love the energy because sometimes you got to go out there. It's the intentional mama friend meet.
Mhm.
But this is also why we built the Balanced Mama Project because we are that village for so many women. And so we would love to see you. We would love to connect, work with you. Dr. Val, I know you have some words just to give them a little more.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, if you're out there and you're listening to this and you're feeling alone, just know that we are at least three people who really do get it. And then you'll have more within the Balance Mama Project. And so we keep referencing like the Balance Mama Project. What even is this? Well, we have a 6 month program for pregnant mamas, and then we have a shorter version for those who are postpartum. But essentially, you get live coaching calls, so you get a chance to chat with us in real time. Tell us what's going on with you, with your body, emotionally, physically. You get guided movement sessions. So we talked about being yoga instructors, Tai Chi, Qigong, but we also provide these things within the Balanced Mama Project. And then again, we cannot stress enough how important the community is. So we have built a private community that feels like that group chat that you wish you had, that you could just text and be like, y'all, what are you doing with, sippy cups now, or whatever the case may be. Um, so it's not about doing more. We really are about keeping it so simple and having the support that actually works, that doesn't have you doing 1,005 exercises a day, but really just has you focusing on the things that matter, that will help you get to where you want to be and to help you thrive, to be quite honest.
yeah, that was perfect. Thanks for summing that up.
Yep.
Um, so basically, mamas, if you're nodding along today, know this. You are not alone. And if you're ready to feel supported, calm, and confident in your pregnancy, just come join us inside the Balanced Mama Project. And you'll find a link in the show notes. And until next time, take care of yourselves because you're already taking care of so much. Stay balanced, mamas.
Peace.